Hello, I am so hot and so tired and my voice is all, but I just wanted to come on here to say that I have had a fantastic night. I could already tell from yesterday as the guests were arriving that it was going to be a bit of a more lively crowd than last week, and tonight they just were brilliant. They weren't quite to the extent of 2 weeks ago, which was just like the best I've seen, but they were so much fun and so much better than last week. And I only say that because last week it just felt I couldn't tell if they were enjoying it or not, and they weren't really giving me anything to work with. Whereas already today, I just got so much from them, and then they all spoke to me after and said lovely things, which was really nice. And then I spoke to someone who looked really familiar, sounded really familiar. I was like, I feel like either I know you or we have a mutual connection, and apparently she felt the same way. And very quickly, within about 2 minutes, we figured out why we know each other. And it's because she once, or multiple times, covered a tap class that I did. So it's a small world. But I'm really happy we figured that out, because already yesterday when they landed, like when I first met them, it definitely in my head, I was like, I need to speak to them. I need to find out why I might know them. And that is why. So I'm glad we worked it out, and I'm glad she felt the same way. And I'm glad that it's not like she definitely knew me, because then I would have felt really bad. But it was both of us being like, you're familiar. But the thing is about my voice, the quiz itself was fine. And, you know, I didn't feel like I was overusing my voice. It's after, because we have a wonderful musician who does a great job, but he's obviously playing, and then there's people singing along, and there's other people who are chatting. And so I'm trying to sort of be heard over that. And I don't have any liquid with me. And that's not good for my voice. And I know that, and I can feel it. And I always try to escape as quickly as possible, but I do like chatting to them. And they're all really nice. So it is what it is. Anyway, now it is bedtime, and I will see you all who knows when. Good night. Hello, my name is Raquel and I am a mess. I just went to the coffee machine where I always go to get myself a nice cup of tea and some water, and it was the worst experience I think I've had so far on the ship. Let me put you in to my little stand, my little tripod, so I can tell you what's happened. So I've just finished filming a few videos. I did my Dear Hopefuls, and then I did my last 2 November nonsenses, and I was feeling really good, but my voice was feeling very croaky throughout all 3 of those, and I was like, right, I need to get something to drink. I'd already had plenty of water. I decided to go for a tea. Now, usually at that coffee machine upstairs, I drink coffee, and I usually have my one coffee that I stick to. And anytime I try and change it, something goes wrong, because they've got different types of coffee options on their machine, which is wonderful, great. But they don't have a mocha, even though they've got hot chocolate, and they've got, you know, lattes and cappuccinos and whatnot. So I was like, I'm gonna be a genius. I'm gonna make myself a hot chocolate and then add an espresso in there, and we're gonna have a mocha. This was last time, and that was a nightmare. And so since then, I've stuck to my one order of coffee that I know and trust and stick to. But as I say, today I was feeling a little bit more like I needed a tea. Long story short, in the end, success. Long story long, not so success. I have perfected filling up my water bottle at the little water filter thing, simultaneously as making my coffee, making sure the coffee finishes first, and then making sure I get the timing right on this, don't spill any water, get the lid on, and get ready to go. Unfortunately, none of it went to plan today, because I went for a tea. So I put my water under the little filter thing and started to let it fill up, because it's quite slow. And then I went to do my tea. and I put the tea bag in and I put it in its position. And at that point, a woman came up and was waiting to use the coffee machine as well. But at that point, I'd already pressed hot water. That's the only button I had to press for the tea, because they had little tea bags. So I pressed hot water and then went back to my water to make sure it wasn't spilling and started speaking to her. And I was like, oh, there's no water going in my cup. And that's because there was a little separate area where you put the mug for the hot water. Little did I know. So I was like, oh, sorry. But what I didn't realise, and she did, is that you can press stop. But because I didn't realise and because she didn't tell me until after, we just watched the water go by as I tried to quickly drop my mug under the hot water thing. Missed it completely and ended up burning myself a little bit, but that's fine, it was minimal. And then tried again, we were like, take 2. But in the meantime, because I'd been so focused on that, my water bottle was overflowing. So as I was trying to fix my cup of tea with hot water, there was cold water going everywhere. I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I promise I'm not usually such a mess. Anyway, got my tea, but then, oh, that was the other thing. Then I wanted to add the milk. So I had to move it back to its original spot, which I did. But then it took a really long time before the milk came out. And then when the milk came out, a lot of it came out in one go. So my tea was like really white. And me and her both just looked at it and were like, that doesn't look great. But I don't really want to go through this whole process again. So I'm just going to pop another tea bag in and hopefully that'll sort it. And it's done an okay job. I still would have liked a little bit less milk, but it's fine. Oh, and then cherry on top of everything else, I went to get some biscuits and they were very, very melted. So my fingers were all chocolatey. And as I was trying to carry the 3 different things back to my cabin, I just felt like a mess. Luckily, I didn't come across anyone else in that time, but I got to my cabin and I was like trying to get my phone out of my pocket with my chocolatey hands and holding the cup of tea and the water and everything. For the record, I did wipe up the water that I'd spilt upstairs. But it did not go as planned. That's all I'll say. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I've not vlogged very much recently, but that's okay. I'm trying not to vlog as much, and I'm finding it really hard. Hence, this 7-minute long video. Alright, I'll see you all later, maybe with a sunset video or something, who knows, a sailing video. But that's all from me for now. And I'm enjoying my tea, so that's at least we got a win out of it. You might be hearing my voice over some video clips of other things. That's because I'm trying something new with my editing. Or maybe you're just watching me like this. That's very possible too. But I just wanted to do a very quick check-in because I've now been back in this crew cabin for about another week or so. I think it's been 6 days. And honestly, I feel a lot better about it this time round. To begin with, last time I was in here, there was a bit of a weird smell, and that's totally gone. And second of all, I know for a fact before I moved in that the housekeepers cleaned it, and so that made me feel a lot cleaner about it. And I've pulled out my little mini tripod, which is what I'm filming this on now, and I've set it up on the desk, and it's just a really nice working area. I really enjoy having the desk, and I actually genuinely think that's one of the things I am gonna miss. And I'm even considering staying in here. But the only reason why I'm not going to do that is because I don't like how dark it feels. I've only got a tiny little window, and it's fine actually when the sun is shining through it. But the problem is as soon as we're docked up anywhere, or if there's another ship docked up against us, it's really dark. And I don't enjoy that, and I don't feel like I get any air. So that is why I am going to be moving out of it. But I just wanted to be honest about this, because I don't know how positive I was last time about this room. And I really feel a lot better about it now, to the extent where I'm even considering staying. So that's my little update, and that's all I really wanted to share with you for now. I'll see you all later. sorry, it is dark, it is late, but I just remembered one other thing. Well, actually 2 other reasons why I don't really want to stay in this cabin, because I mentioned earlier one other reason. But the 2 that I forgot to mention until just now is number 1, the shower, and I have spoken about that before. The shower itself is fine, but there's just not a lot of room, and not just there's the handle that I've pointed out twice I think already, but also the shower curtain is the kind that sticks to you, so it just feels like you don't have any room and you don't have any space to move around. So not the biggest fan of that. And number 2, the toilet. The toilet makes this horrible screechy sound when you flush it every time, and I'm not a fan of that. It's really, I have to like mentally prepare myself for it every time, and it's not fun. So I just wanted to share them because I just remembered them. And now it is bedtime. I am very tired. I went to bed at like 2 in the morning last night for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And tonight's been sort of a late night, and then tomorrow I've got a really early start. Not really early, an early start. And then a late finish, and then the next day I have a really early start, so I just need to get on top of my sleep. And it's entirely my own fault. So, good night, and I will see you when I see you next. Bye!